Hi guys, we're dancers in Motionhouse. I'm Beth, this is Olly, this is Berta and this is Joel. We're here today to give you an insight in training for conservatoires and dance schools and giving you professional advice for auditions and jobs, etc. Just before we start, I think it's important to say that we all live together. We've been isolating together, that's why we're all together, sat very closely. So, we've just got a few questions that we're going to ask each other and we're all going to chip in and give our answers. So the first one that we're going to ask is, where did we all train?
So I'm going to start. I trained in Barcelona, did a 6-year conservatoire training, starting very young, so like the audition for that wasn't really like a serious audition. It was more like know how confident we were and the technique we had before, but it's not like a really serious audition. And then it's a 6-year conservatoire, and then I auditioned for Verve and for some other conservatoires. Then I got Verve and I came here to the UK and then started working.
I trained in the same place as Joel, and I would add to that I also did an apprenticeship. Well, it wasn't an apprenticeship, I did a placement in Motionhouse for 6 months, and there is where I got to know them better, and I will explain this later when we talk about how some tips for auditions. But yeah, that was my way. I did conservatoire, then Verve, and then Motionhouse.
Awesome. I did pre-vocational training at the Centre for Advanced Training Schemes at Northern School of Contemporary Dance, and then after that I went to Trinity Lab and Conservatoire of Music and Dance for a 3-year degree, and then did EDGE, which is a postgraduate company course at the Place London Contemporary Dance School.
I started on CAT, the Centre of Advanced Training at Newcastle at Dam City. I did that for 5 years and then auditioned for Lorben and then did the BA ones there, and then I did an apprenticeship with Motionhouse, and that's it. What was your journey to get into Motionhouse? So what did you do from training until where we are now?
I'll go first, yeah, sure. After finishing EDGE, the tour, I did actually work with Motionhouse briefly on like a month project in Romania, in Timișoara, called like Lumen, which was like an outdoor production. And then since then I kind of like freelanced. I worked for Rosie K Dance Company in the large scale production of 10 Soldiers, which toured to like Birmingham Hippodrome and like large scale theatres like that. And then also did a smaller tour with her for 5 Soldiers. We just got back from the US a couple of weeks ago. And also another major project I did was at Royal Opera House. I was in Deaf in Venice playing a principal role. And then after that I just auditioned and joined Motionhouse.
After finishing my training in Verve, I did a lot of auditions, but at the same time I was doing like all those auditions, I got in touch with Motionhouse because I really liked their way of working, and I thought that I'm not a person that I get quite nervous in auditions, so I thought that maybe getting in touch would be a different way to getting in touch with a company. So I was training with them daily, and then I auditioned for them. But at that point I wasn't ready yet to deliver their material, so I had some freelance time, so I did quite a lot of auditions, and I got a project with Southpaw Dance Company, and I toured with them during that summer, and then I saw that Motionhouse was auditioning again, and I thought that I got the experience to give it a second go, and then I tried again, and then I got the job, and now I'm here.
My journey was, so after I did Verve in the Northern School of Contemporary Dance, I started hearing about Motionhouse, but I really like didn't know about it. Berta started talking about it, so I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. They weren't holding auditions by then, so I started doing other jobs. I auditioned for James Wilton Dance Company, and then I got a job with them, did a summer tour and then an autumn tour. And then after that I heard the Motionhouse were holding auditions for a boy role, so I tried and gave it a go, and it worked. So I started doing Block, which is a summer tour outdoor project with Half Circus Company as well. and yeah, it worked very well. And then yeah, the ball kept rolling, and now here I am.
And so after my training, I did the apprenticeship for Motionhouse through Northern Contemporary Dance School. I did 4 or 5 months of my apprenticeship, and then there was an audition for the company, and I was very lucky and fortunate enough to get the job, and I've been here since. What advice would you give people auditioning for conservatoires or dance schools?
I would say that when you audition for conservatories and dance schools, there is like a lot of people that want to get to that place. So it's very important that you're physically really ready, so that when you go there, you know that you're gonna be your best at the technique classes, but also be able to show your own personality when it comes to like, maybe they have like more like creative tasks or improvisation tasks, and just be able to show both you're ready in the technical stuff, but also showing your personality, I would say.
Yeah, also auditions, especially for conservatories, are very demanding. Like, there's a lot of people, and you're gonna be doing a long audition with a loads of groups, and you're gonna be doing the same exercise loads of times. So the more physically ready you can be to like get that level and keep your level up, and not just get tired during the audition, I think it's really important.
I think preparation is key. If you need to make, like, I know for a couple of the conservatoires in the UK, you've got to have a solo ready. Like, preparing that solo to the best of its standard is really important, but also using the people around you, like, that you train with, or like people that you know who are in the dance field. They can help you loads with like preparation for the auditions, and I know that I didn't use them to the best of my ability, and that's one thing that I would have definitely changed.
Yeah, just with the preparation, I think know what you want from your 3 years. So a lot of the conservatoires in the UK have different kind of focus points that they focus on. Laban was quite creative at the time. I'm not sure about now, but and I really wanted to work on that, so that's why I chose Laban, and that was my first audition, and I got into there, and I was like, that's it, I'm not auditioning for anymore. But that's different for everybody. I think when you go to the audition, you get a feel of the building. I know it sounds weird, but when you walk in, you kind of know if it feels right, if it doesn't. There's like taster days as well. I know with the CAT we did taster days, so we went to all the different dance schools, and I actually loved Northern. I wanted to go there, then I went to Laban, and I loved that as well. So yeah, know what you want from your 3 years. And also in the audition, just be yourself, because I don't think, because when you go to conservatory auditions, they're looking at you, they're auditioning you, and you're auditioning them. So just be yourself. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to be anyone that you're not. Just show them what you've been working on and what you've got, and if they like you, they'll take you. If they don't, you'll go somewhere else. I think it's really important just to be yourself.
And it can be really nerve-wracking when you get there and there's like loads of different people, you don't know anyone. Some people have got like massive personalities, and like they're like showing off and doing tricks, and it can get you into like a weird headspace, and you just need to learn to calm. And like Beth said, you've got to really, they're looking for like someone they can work with, someone who's got potential. You don't have to be like a finished product by any means of the imagination. So just go and be yourself, and to be honest, like try and enjoy it as best you can, because if you can enjoy like working hard and training, they're going to see that, and that's something they can really work with.
Yeah, also with like the thing I would say as well is try to talk with people that are in that school anyway. Like if you know someone that knows someone there. Because I remember doing some auditions to some schools that I heard like they were so good. There's like this school in Belgium called Parts, and I heard this was amazing, so I was like, oh, I want to audition. I went there. It was like a week audition there, and after that, like I didn't really enjoy it, and that's why I think research, because I went there just for the name of it, but then I really didn't know about it really. So yeah, I would say get information about it, talk to people that are there or know what the training is there, and then like after you're sure that you want to go, like spend the money and do it. Like if you really want to do it, just do it, and as they said, try and be yourself. Being nervous sometimes can like show a really not you part of you, like really different part of yourself, and try and like really calm that down, think, why am I here, am I enjoying this, and if you find yourself in that position, just try and breathe and show yourself as you really are.
And just to add, I think it's good to say that never think that you're not good enough. I think confidence is such a massive thing, and as soon as you've got that confidence, it just gives you that extra boost, and yeah, never think that you're not good enough. What was the audition process of conservatoires?
I think it, like pretty much with every single conservatoire, you probably have a contemporary class and a ballet class, and then some creative tasks.
Yeah, I know specifically for Laban we had a ballet class, a contemporary class, which I think was Graham and Release.
Yeah.
I think. And then we did a creative task and a bit of improv, and then we did a group interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, there normally is like, as Olly said, there's always technique class, and then after that technique classes, it always changes, like depending on where you're going. It might be a solo, it might be just improv, it might be that they go straight to the interview and then you do something else apart. But yeah, just I would say if you've never done like a big training on technique, get some time, go for some technique classes, and if you have done technique classes, just be secure for yourself. Just know that you know that, and then you can really press on that creative task to show like what you are. Especially in improvs, people really tend to like think, oh, the technique's done, now in the improv I can just relax, and yes, but really give it the importance, because they will still be judging you, and that's what really shows what you are as well.
And our audition for conservatoire was also the same. We did audition for Northern, and it was a ballet class and a contemporary class, and we did rep from different choreographers that have been there, and
Solos.
I think we did solos, and we also did like creative / improv.
Yeah.
And another thing I would like to highlight is that I really thought about what you're wearing as clothes, because we for example Motionhouse audition, and we don't look at a number, we look at what that person looks like, and we remember of like, oh yeah, the person with the red t-shirt. So it's another tip I would say, just wear something that suits you, but at the same time that stands out.
Yeah, and also with like technique, everyone, especially with like undergraduate auditions, everyone goes in with different levels of technique. Like they're not, like I said before, they're not looking for a finished product. If you've not done ballet technique before, do you know, just give it your best shot. Like
Exactly.
those people who started Lab with us have never done ballet before. And actually, when you start a degree program, you go back to basics anyway. So sometimes it can be quite helpful. So like, 'cause you haven't picked up any bad habits and stuff like that.
They definitely look for the potential and not
Yeah.
the finished product.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Last question for this is, what was your favourite or most challenging part of your training?
I think the most challenging part in, I would say, all of the training is just the repetition. You're gonna be repeating the same thing again and again, and it's just knowing that on the future is really gonna help. Like on the moment, you can get really stressed and anxious, like, oh, this is not changing, I'm not improving. But then when you see a video of you like 2 years after, you can really feel the difference. So it's just knowing that repetition is gonna work, it's gonna pay off at the end, and just try and like remember your goal. Like you're there for improving, for getting new experience, and sometimes it might get hard, but at the end it pays off.
I think my favourite part was getting the chance to perform. We had quite a lot of performance opportunities. I think we did 2 performances a year. And that gave us the opportunity to work with different choreographers, different companies that came in, working on different styles. We did a Cunningham performance, which was very challenging, but there is rewarding at the same time. Just working on that the performance skills, which I think can sometimes get overlooked, but especially Laban definitely gave us a chance to be able to perform.
It's such a especially the first year, it's such a big moment in your life. You know, it's not just you starting training every day and it's really intense. You've probably moved away from home. You've got to look after yourself. You know, you've got to go and do the weekly shop. You've got to your parents aren't there to motivate you and make you go to class anymore. It's like a lot of big like decisions you have to make, and like that can be quite a really intense period, and you just gotta trust yourself and like know why you're there and like stick with it.
And I will also say, equally, you get to a point that you get so used to that, then when you realize it's getting to an end, you are in a bubble that everyone's taking care of you. But when you have to leave, that is also a really, really big challenge, because you're going to be by yourself for the first time, and you're going to have to judge and train you every day. So it's just appreciating once you get somewhere that you can like some things you cannot like and some things you will love, but just appreciating where you are.
Yeah.
Oh, I also think it's really important because, like Berta said, like it can get into a bubble, like being in the same school all the time. Don't be afraid to go out and like spend time with different companies. Like start working towards that in school rather than waiting until you've graduated to start doing things like that. And also, like, because it's quite hard, you're doing the same classes, same teachers, you're dancing with the same people. It's just like repetition. Go out and like if there's other classes available, don't be afraid to go and try them, and like just keeping it interesting for yourself and like keep the passion going.
Yeah, especially because there's loads of companies that don't really like auditions. They prefer getting to know a person and then offering them like, oh, come this week to do class with us. So if, as like Olly said, the last year especially of your training, you use it to like some weekends, oh, this company is doing opening company class, let's go there. Oh, this company is doing a CPD course, let's go there. And you just use these courses to get to know companies, get to know the dancers, get to know the directors, just talk to them, let them know you as well, and on the future, if they see you in an audition, it's like, oh, I know that guy, oh, they were very nice, oh, I remember, oh, they've changed a lot as well. Just really get to know them before you are going to the audition, because it really helps.
Yeah, I think as well at Laban, and I'm sure people do this in other conservatoires, but you have to go out on a placement. I think it's in second and third year. I think you can do one placement a year. But what I found what I loved was that I did about 3 a year. I went to like Candue, Cowziva, Phoenix, Gary Clark. I did a lot of placements. And that was really insightful and helped me so much with getting out there after Laban. So make the most of being able to do them placements with different companies and just go for it.
And it's amazing as well when you go to like these company classes, like you're suddenly dancing with like professional dancers, and you see it's so much more than just like being technical and like being good in class. You just see like personalities coming out and dancing. That's really what will help you in the future.
Definitely.
Now we're going to move on to our advice for professional auditions and so after conservatoires. So what is your advice for professional auditions?
I would start to say that first of all, in auditions there's all kinds. There are open auditions. There is auditions you get invited to, but when you get invited to, it can be a group of 100, it can be a group of 7. So it's just really knowing how much you actually will want to be in this place. So get really like information about the place, and know how much you would like to be in this place. So how much would you give to this place? For example, if there's a place that you have to travel and pay £100 in a plane ticket, then you have to think, would I want this place so much to spend this money, or my time, like a weekend instead of doing something else? So just really know how to value how much you want to be in a place.
Yeah, now that Berta talked about money as well, know that professional auditions can be really expensive because you have to do everything by yourself. You have to travel by yourself, get the accommodation. So try and like get ready for that. Just if you can do some like little jobs in your town, in like a cafe or something, just to get some money, save some money, because then once that audition that you'll be waiting for opens, you want to be able to do it and not be like, oh, I don't have enough money. So try and plan it before and be like, oh, the year of the auditions is coming, I'm gonna try and save some money to then be able to spend it there. Because like ultimately it's like the moment you've been waiting for, like after your training, you want to get to that moment and be ready. And as Berta said, get information about the companies is really important, especially if you're getting a job that it's specifically for a specific role. So substituting someone, like learning someone else's role. Watch the piece that you're gonna be performing if you get the job. Like really watch it, really get to know everything. and then once you get to the audition, you will feel like you're in a different level than the rest, and just be as prepared as possible.
I think when you first start doing auditions, it's I mean, everybody does it. I know that I did, but you just apply for everything, and like,
I did it.
and then you don't really think about like what is the one that you actually really want. And I know that there's ones that I've been to, and I'm like, oh, should I really go for the audition? And they've never gone well ever. Then I've like gone in with that mindset, and like you've got to kind of find out for yourself, what is it that I want to do? Like, what kind of work do I want to do? Because that will really help you. And like all of us. Like when we went to Motionhouse audition, that was not the first time we'd ever met the company by any stretch of imagination. Beth had done like an apprenticeship. I'd been training with them for different times, just before, and like Berta, you said
In my placement,
and I went to visit as well a few times. So yeah, really, as we said before, really use that time to know the company, know the dancers. Because also when you are doing the audition, it feels a lot safer and a lot better environment if you know everyone, if you know the space, if you know the people. It just feels less stressful, and you can enjoy it more.
Absolutely.
And I think from the inside of watching an audition, not doing it but watching it, it's really apparent when there's a personality, which seems weird to say, but when people come and they have a personality, I personally feel drawn to them. So I think that's really important to when you are auditioning, bring your personality out, show what you've got. I haven't done many auditions, but the ones I have done, I've literally loved, because I love being able to go there and learn new things, learn new rep, and show them that what I've been training on for the past couple of years. Like, I honestly love going to auditions and showing myself rather than feeling nervous about people judging me. I like to show what I've got, and if that's right for the company, then that's right. If it's not, then it's not. Another thing is, don't be afraid of a no. Like, I'm personally no, but everybody's had a lot of no's. Like, it's a normal thing, and I think it can really mature a person when they are being told no, and they keep going and going, and it really, really shows the determination and passion for what you do. And just don't be afraid of being told no, because it's normal. And if you don't get a no, you're weird.
And like so many jobs, they're like, you like substituting someone, and like there's loads where it's about the look. For the Royal Opera House job, I definitely was not the best technical dancer by like any stretch of the imagination, but I'd gone in and like the director was there, and he liked the look that I had, and it was perfect for the role, and so then I just got it from that. There's so many different factors that you don't know about. So yeah, like you said, all you can do is go there and like show yourself, and you've put the hard work in, you've done your training, you've learned how to go through pick up exercises and stuff like that. So that's your time to go pick up the exercise, and then you're performing it and you're doing what you want to do. Like ultimately an audition is a performance, and that's why we train, because we love performing.
And on performance, I know especially for Motionhouse, that's such a massive part of the audition is the performance. Our executive director Louise really hammers home the performance aspect of even doing a class exercise, and it makes the biggest difference because when you get a job in any company, you're performing in front of thousands of people, indoors or outdoors, in little theatres, big theatres. It's always performing to an audience, and that is one of the biggest things that I think you can show in the audition, even just when you're doing class.
Yeah, and with this performance thing and getting back the bubble thing that we talked about before, when you audition for the first time for companies just after your training, you still are in this bubble, and your face sometimes will not express what your body's doing. You can be a perfect, really technical dancer, have the movement that they taught you perfectly, but if your face and your body's not expressing that, you just go past, and people will be looking at someone else. So really think that training is over, you use that to dance, but then use that as well to express. So now you know the technical part of it, try and go next level. They know you have your training, they know you have the technique, and you're there to get the job. So they want to see another phase of you, another part of that.
We've kind of already touched on this, but just one more question is how would you prepare for a professional audition?
Yeah, as we said, really look into the videos, really get to know the company. Don't be afraid of messaging as well. Like, so I remember when I was in training, I felt like I couldn't send an email, I couldn't message anyone in the company. They're like, oh, they're in a different level than me. But then no, they're still people. They're like probably not a lot older than you. Like just talk to them, just message like, oh, I'm gonna do the audition. What do you think I should prepare more? And it's really hard to find someone that's just gonna like avoid you and just gonna not say, like, people tend to be really helpful, tend to really like appreciate these kind of comments. Even the directors, like, just message them and be like, oh, I'm planning to come to this audition, but my timetable is really bad, like I've done this and this and this, and maybe they can help you to do the audition another day, or just go to the next day, or whatever. Like, just don't be afraid about talking to people. They're just normal people.
Yeah, and then also, like, you because you've done research on like the company and how they dance and stuff, when you're actually applying, you know, so often you have to do a show reel. So think about what kind of dancing are you gonna, like, what they're gonna be looking for, and you can start already feeding that into your show reel, and like, even before you've got to your audition, they've seen that you've got like something that they're looking for.
And I would say about show reels, the most important bit that has to show your performance, your personality, your skills would be like the first minute. So choose like a good music, your best bits of performance. I would say probably show you performing, not just you in the studio. And just think that sometimes there is like 700 people applying for an audition, and they have to look at show reels, and they will just look at the first 30 seconds or 1 minute. So just make yourself look good headshots, so that when you're auditioning and people are looking at you, they see like the same person, they're not having to guess. Yeah.
I think CV, like they're going to be getting so many CVs like full of different stuff. Like, keep your CV to what it needs to be. Like, one page is perfect. Your headshot, some information about you, and then like just where you train. Like, really keep it clean and like just what they want to see. Don't have them flicking through pages of stuff.
And also, there's sometimes that between auditions, after you've done your training, you're in the audition process, and between auditions there's loads of time that you will end up working somewhere else just to make some money. Really think about your physical like activity. Try and keep up with the technique as the like your cardio and everything, because if you haven't done an audition for a long time, you go to an audition and you feel like you can't move, you're like really behind. So try and, like, if you know an audition's coming up, prepare yourself physically to be like ready and go for it, because it is really hard, like auditioning. Especially some companies, I know Motionhouse as well, really like to push people to like the limit and see how you behave in that part of you. So like, yeah, it's really important to be ready physically.
And just on the terms of looking for auditions, there's a lot of different websites that you can find auditions on. So there's Dancing Opportunities, Article 19.
Yeah, there's one called Auditions, like separately, yeah.
We'll write them down.
Yeah.
Even though if you just write in Google like dance
Yeah.
auditions websites, you will get it, and try and keep up with them. Social media as well.
Yeah.
If you know companies that you're interested about, just follow them. They will keep
be
posting
the
like auditions and stuff. So try and like be really active in that.
And your own social media as well. I think it's quite important to highlight you on social media, whether it's dancing pictures or just you as a person. Everybody uses social media now, and we kind of all know each other from social media in the dance world. So yeah, that's an important thing to think about.
Yeah. Also, like, it's like regularly attending classes. Like, I know when I started freelancing, I moved to Leamington Spa, and I was like, oh, what am I going to do here? But in Birmingham, there's a really good, like, it's called Birmingham Dance Network, and, you know, there's regular classes where you can go, and I found out loads of information. You meet loads of like choreographers go to the classes. Like that's I found out loads about auditions then as well.
And there's lots of different dance clubs, isn't there? There's like professional class at the Place. There's professional class at Greenwich Dance, which is now in Woolwich, I think.
Yeah.
There's like Birmingham Dance Network, Dance City at Newcastle. There's so many different
Everywhere.
clubs that
Every
you can
city,
go to.
yeah. Every city has
I think it's really important to be going to professional class every morning and then just enjoying it, keeping the passion for what you've trained for and what you love. Cool.
Yeah. So I think.
Thank you for watching. Hope you're all safe and well, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.